Welcome back to the Harwood Rundown podcast. We're back with another episode of the off-season. We're going through our season previews. This is episode 9, and this is actually our last season previews. We're doing division by division. We're doing the Pacific Division with I think this is the most exciting one. We've got the Warriors, Suns, Lakers, Kings, and Clippers. And if you have been watching, once again, our criteria is MVP, impact player, rising star, and projected record. And I mean, all of these teams have gone through, I guess, except for Kings, but like they've gone through some considerable change in this offseason. And man, there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, what's going on, Jack?
Yeah, this might be our longest, like we were saying before, this might be our longest season preview episode of all time. I think
Yes.
2 years ago, our longest one was like 50 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. We've been whizzing through these though. Pacific Division by far the most competitive division in the league. I think the Central one is probably the second most competitive. So yeah, this is all teams above 500 by like 3 or 4 games. Yeah, this is going to be. They're all 5 teams are really hard to judge because I don't know if, like, for example, the Kings are going to have the same type of season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we kick things off. Warriors last season 44-38. Obviously went out. Um, obviously beat the Kings. The whole Draymond Green situation with Demontis Sabonis, and then obviously losing to the Lakers in 6. Pretty up and down season last year. I think they couldn't really get consistency. Obviously, they've traded Jordan Poole to the Wizards for Chris Paul, which is an interesting pickup. Not sure how it's going to work. Is he going to come off the bench? Is Steph going to run a 2-man? So yeah, let's just get straight into it. We'll kick off with the MVP. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. Steph Curry, um, impact player. I'm assuming you've got Steph. I'm not even going to ask you.
Yeah. It's all right.
Impact player. Um, impact player. I've gone Draymond Green. I just feel like when he's not on the floor, they're not the same team, and we know that he's a big reason why they've won those 4 championships. Without him in that team, there's not much happening, to be honest. And then rising star, I've gone Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's going to have a really big year this year.
Mhm.
Obviously, second fiddle to Draymond now. Still, I honestly thought if Draymond left, that Kuminga would kind of come into that role. But again, I didn't think Draymond was going to leave that whole time. That the whole roster is just solid right now. There's just the extra pieces around them that need to somehow work. I think if Chris Paul runs off the bench with Jonathan Kuminga, you're going to really see him break out this year. Um, I probably think I don't think Chris Paul will come off the bench, but I think he'll lead the second unit per se, kind of like what Westbrook did in LA. He started, but then he'd still come back, like he'd still lead with the second unit. I feel like that might happen with Chris Paul, and he's going to really unlock Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, 100%. I got this exact same as you. MVP Curry, impact player Draymond, and rising star Kuminga. I think, man, he's got like a much higher ceiling than I thought he had. But just for his ability as a cutter, for him to make kind of something out of nothing, because the offense obviously does not cater to him.
Mm.
But he makes it work. Like he cuts, he finds his spots, he runs on the fast break. His defense is like incredible. Um, he's grown this offseason as well. So I saw this thing like, oh, he's grown to 7'8".
Yeah, yeah, I know. The
But
memes are wild.
but he's actually has grown this offseason as well, which is insane because he came in as like a guard
Yeah,
and now he's playing like a power forward role, which is incredible. And he just slowly developing that jumper, and they've got the perfect system or perfect trainers for him to develop that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think he's saying Chris Paul coming in. Yeah, you wonder if he's going to come off the bench.
Mm.
I think he'll start. Um, and I wonder. Yeah, it's like Steph's going to play at the 2 defensively. It's going to leave them a bit vulnerable, but that's the thing. Yeah, you do want, but then Draymond's going to be slide to the 5,
Yeah,
and then yeah, it's I don't know. Logically, it's Chris Paul off the bench, but
yeah,
then you need some shooters around him, or you need some sort of. Steph and Clay have to kind of stay on after that, which is, I assume that's what they'll be doing, and Andrew Wiggins. But yeah, they got a bit to organize. But I think Warriors as as a developing organization have been, I mean, incredible. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, it hasn't worked with certain players, but mostly they've produced like all-star talent, or brought like revived careers as well.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say they're gonna regress this year. I wouldn't even just be because like Jordan Poole's out and they were a bit impatient with that whole trade scenario. But I think the West is getting even better.
Yeah.
And I think Warriors are the team out of that top eight who is going to take a decent regression. And obviously their core is getting older. And there isn't that like star scorer for them to young star scorer that you had in Jordan Poole.
Mm.
It is the same old system, but you don't have a young project that is at the focus of your offense. Like you got
Yeah.
Minga and you got Moses Moody who have been playing pretty well, but no focal point offensively. But yeah, what's your record?
Yeah. Okay. So last year they were inconsistent. I feel like Chris Paul brings a bit of cohesion. They've lost a bit of depth, which I understand, but I actually don't think they're going to regress that bad. I think they had 44 wins last year, gone 46 this year. I know it's
Mm,
competitive. Like I know the West is super competitive, but this is the Warriors want people to write them off because that's literally how they would like. It's how they won their fourth chip um together. So I'm not writing them off because I made that mistake when they won.
okay.
Um, yeah, I'm assuming you've got some like crazy number that's like really heaps lower, like in the 30s or something.
No,
But
I just put 40 because I think it's like
okay,
game for game, it's like cutthroat. But then
yeah,
kind of considering it, Suns might regress, Kings might regress.
exactly,
We'll get
yeah,
to that. Clippers might regress as well. Timberwolves
hmm,
are in the eight, but like top eight last year, but like they aren't really scheduled
yeah,
to really go higher. So yeah, I don't know. This,
exactly.
this is a weird,
It's
it's a
it's
weird group.
interesting. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how it's going to work, but yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm really basing it off. Like consistency last year was heaps up and down, really poor at home, and they're not the type of team that's really bad at home. Um, I think, like I said, Chris Paul brings that second unit together. Not sure what they're going to do with their starting five. Like, would you play Wiggins at the four and then bring Looney off the bench? But I feel like Looney kind of sets the tone. Him and Draymond set the tone.
Mm.
Steph's going to have an MVP type year. Exactly what I said about Trae Young. They're gonna both two small guards gonna probably be in the top five in MVP voting.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm still expecting a decent year. I don't think they'll go deep, but I think they'll have a good regular season because I feel like I feel like that's the one thing they really didn't have last year was a good regular season, and that's probably why they kind of regressed so hard in the playoffs. But
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, this is tough. But we'll, uh we'll see. We'll see.
we'll have to see. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
biting my I bite my tongue when I say it because I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. They're honestly one of like the unpredictable. Remember when
Last year,
they
bro.
used yeah, remember they used to be like the best team. They were like they still are a really good team, but everyone used to know that the Warriors going to go really good. I don't know this year. It's a bit
Mm.
weird. Like it's a bit of a weird season. Last year was a weird season, and this year's a bit harder to pick because we don't know what the Chris Paul addition, Jordan Poole's subtraction is gonna how it's gonna affect the team. Because
Mm.
JP had a good year. Like let's not get it wrong. He
Yeah.
had a good year. He flunked in the playoffs, but the team didn't turn up in the playoffs either. Really,
Mm.
I know they beat Sacramento, but Sacramento was a young team. They took him to 7 games, and then you had to verse LeBron in the second round. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It,
honestly, yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. It's hard to judge.
it's like, and Clay didn't get that much of a, he kind of got a get out of jail free card there because he's
Yeah,
been,
he did.
but then Jordan Poole didn't, just because he's younger and they expected more. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm gonna go Suns.
Yeah, let's go Suns. This one's interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen this year, but I've gone big. I've gone big on them
Oh,
only because I feel like a full year of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker working together is going to be, yeah, they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard to stop offensively. Defensively is where I've got the question marks.
mm,
They can put up the points, but can they stop the points coming at them? Um, yeah, I've gone Devin Booker as my MVP. Like, I feel like normally I would say Kevin Durant,
yeah,
but
no,
I just feel like D Book's always healthy. Kevin Durant's, not injury prone, but he's had his dips in the season where he misses 7 or 8 games. Booker's more consistent. Booker's the franchise player. It's weird. Kevin Durant's kind of second fiddle, but he's the better player. It's weird. I feel like Devin Booker's going to be an MVP caliber player this season.
mm,
And he was last season. Impact player, I've gone Kevin Durant. I mean, I feel like that guy just generates you an extra 10 wins a season, pretty much.
mm,
Rising star, this is hard. I feel like they don't really have any young bucks on that team besides DeAndre Ayton. So I've gone Ayton.
mm,
I don't think he's going to have a super big year, um, only because there's only so many points you can spread around your starting five, and I don't think he could average like, I don't know, 15 and 12 or something like that,
mm.
but he's not going to be averaging like 20 points a game. But yeah, this one's actually shorter. This one's going to be one of the shorter ones to spend time on. Like, I don't know how the Brad Beal thing's going to work.
Mm,
Him at point, I actually prefer D Book at point, but I can understand because they'll actually probably just interchange.
mm,
Um, I didn't like the trade when it first happened, and I don't really like it still. Like, it just doesn't sit with me that they basically gave up Chris Paul for Bradley Beal. Chris Paul, like I said before, brings like cohesion to your team. You're
mm,
never really out of a game if you've got Chris Paul on your team. Like, I just feel like they needed one more full season with CP3, Durant, D Book, and having Aiton as that five before they made any drastic changes. I understand like Chris Paul's getting old, the contract probably not suitable, but then they got Brad Beal who's on like 40 million a year and 31 or something like that. So I didn't really understand it. There's probably more to it,
mm.
but yeah, I'm definitely skeptical about it. I really don't know. I've gone big on the wins this year, but I mean that could probably change.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna say they were no, sorry, I'm gonna say they progressed, but nothing huge. Um, Book MVP, Durant or Josh Okogie for impact player. Just I go Josh Okogie just for like
Yeah,
all the little stuff he does. I was gonna put Aiden. Yeah, like who else can you put? Like what? Like you can put like Watanabe as well. Like he's been he's been doing all right. Like he's been he's been shot incredibly well last year, and
I
his
can't wait.
defense.
I can't wait for your rising star. I'm having a look
Oh no,
through.
that's my rising star. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was
I don't
I was
have
having. I thought you
yeah.
were gonna like. They're gonna hit me with some shit like Bol, which actually kind of made that could
No,
actually work.
unfortunately not.
Um,
But no, and I also I wish they didn't trade campaign. I think he actually would have worked really, really well as a starting
yeah,
point guard. He's really underrated. When he was drafted by OKC, I did not expect him to still be in the league by now.
no, neither.
Really made a name for himself and proven his worth. But anyway, they got most likely Bill at the point. I actually think it's going to work really well. Bill essentially has played that point guard role for the past couple of years with John Wall gone. Um, and has done a good job from what I've seen. Not a natural, I guess, playmaker, but he's still a combo guard who is like still his floor awareness, I guess, like his playmaking
Mm,
vision, I guess, is still pretty good, and it's going to work, I think, in this system. Because it's traditionally you have a point guard who's pass first. Like combo guards are like the biggest commodity in the NBA. Like if you have combo guards on
yeah,
your star, you're doing very, very well. It's not just one guy who's one dimensional, like Alfred Payton when he was there a couple of years ago, just pass, that was his thing, pass and slash. But now having someone who does a bit of everything, um, you can't switch off when like someone has the ball. Like even Chris Paul, not saying you can switch off with him, but you know that he's not looking to score first unless there's a certain like they're trying to make a run or it's getting later in the game. Like he's never been a shoot first guy. He's very random with it. So to have
Yeah.
two kind of shoot first combo guards at your one and your two is like really interesting. I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
I put 48 for the wins. I think they'll improve a
Mm.
bit. Again, I don't know, and I do like. I don't mind the bench. Like I don't mind like Eric Gordon. That's great off the bench. Watanabe, I think that's solid off the bench. They even got Bol as well, who's like a bit of a liability defensively, but
Yeah.
it's still a bit of fun. It's still a bit of gives you something a bit different than what you would
Mm.
normally get from like a Jock Landale off the bench, who's now at the
Yeah.
Rockets. So yeah, this is a weird season for him. I kind of feel
Weird
bad for
season.
Book because he's had so much changing around him, but like he's
Yeah.
still been that guy. Um, I reckon he will be a top five case for the MVP. I think. Um, well, that's tough. I don't know. I contradict
Don't
myself.
backtrack.
I don't know, man. Yeah. What did you have? You think they're gonna go big, big, big?
I got 52 only because I feel like they'll mesh really quickly, but I'm not sure about the playoffs where defense really matters. So
Mm,
yeah, I feel like they have a good regular season. I just feel like we kind of saw last year they didn't really have the defense there to stop the Nuggets. I mean, no one did, to be honest. The
mm,
Nuggets were just so goddamn good. But yeah, I got high wins, but not a deep playoff run. I don't think.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, next up, let's go Sacktown, and then we'll finish on Clippers and Lakers. Get to say the best to last. You know how it is. I'm not even a Lakers fan. Yeah, we'll go the Kings. MVP De'Aaron Fox. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I feel like you could actually mix it up with Sabonis, but Fox had a crazy good year last year. He finally like took that leap that people were waiting for,
Mm,
and you could see that pretty much affected the whole team success. Sabonis, my impact player. I mean, also self-explanatory. He averaged like 18 and 11 for the whole year. 5 assists, 6 assists. He actually is a perfect compliment. When you look back at the Halliburton Sabonis trade, it really was like the perfect trade. Both
mm,
teams got what they wanted. Both teams got a better for it. The Sabonis trade paid off for the Kings. Pacers trade, the Halliburton's trade is paying off for the Pacers. They got a really bright future. But yeah, rising star Keegan Murray. I feel like elite 3-point shooter, man. Like
mhm,
that kid can shoot. Um, I don't think they're gonna regress or like anything like that. That was just the start. I really think they can go again.
mm.
Um, but yeah, who do you have?
Yeah, Fox MVP, impact player, Sabonis, rising star. I love Davion Mitchell.
Yeah,
He's the off night. Uh, so so much effort, and it's just those little things that he's like continuing to work on. I would expect from him shooting would improve this year, and his slashing ability is pretty good. I would like for that to improve, and like the playmaking because he's obviously going to be that guy off the bench. But having Malik Monk there is really good as well, who's like had a resurgence year like last year, which
yeah,
was great to see. Like a solid bench. But yeah, I'd go. Oh, and Keegan Murray for. I'd say Keegan Murray for rising star probably over Damian Mitchell. I think he's got more potential.
yeah,
I still think though Kings will have a bit of a regression. I'm thinking like a couple of wins less than last year, like 45.
yeah,
Um, but then again, shit might change. And I do think actually last year was like a great like proof that we can really do this. We're the third seed in the West.
yeah.
Um, and they've got some playoff experience under their belt. So it can completely go the other way. But like we've seen with teams who have like one really, really good season, like Hawks a couple of years ago,
Mm,
had a really great season and made Eastern Conference Finals, and then and now the 8th seed and a kind of a reputation of being a mid team because they're not
Yeah.
really too far this way or too far that way. So I want them to do so well, the Kings. I love, like, always be a bit of a Kings fan, even though I absolutely went away from,
Left.
yeah, left. But great fans and great culture, and they've got guys that they've built from the ground up. They've got great role players and young guys that they're working on. Yeah, what about you?
I've gone. So I had 48 last year. I'm going 48 again. I don't think they're gonna regress. I think they're just gonna stay the same.
Mm,
I think they'll improve in some areas. Having they pretty much brought back the same team, which is always a good sign. They didn't lose anyone. The team chemistry is still there. I think if Malik Monk has a good season, that'll really affect how things pan out because he had a really good season last year after kind of the Lakers not being so good. But yeah, I'm really excited for this Kings team. I'm really excited. I was excited for them last year. They were so fun to watch, man. So
mm,
fun to watch against the Warriors. Like that whole back and forth, in the series. And I'm really hoping for another big season from them. Clippers. Yeah, this one's a bit weird. I
yeah.
was a bit skeptical on how I'm judging this upcoming season. The past 4 seasons have been really disappointing. Really disappointing.
Mm,
And it all comes down to injuries, load management, cohesion, um, trades, just not making the right moves.
mm,
I think they've had an unlucky run, so I give them like an asterisk on their season. The last few seasons, they can't get healthy. Clippers fans are saying, "Oh, we got to rush to trade PG and Kawhi." Blah blah blah. You don't have to. I know you've had them for 3 or 4 years now, but these guys are the keys to winning your chip. You just need them.
mm,
They just need to stay healthy. That's the only thing. We've seen that they can be dominant. They could almost beat the Suns in 2021 before the Suns, who eventually made the finals. Um, Without Kawhi, we know that the DNA is there.
mm,
It's just all about staying healthy. And it always comes down to they both got injured at like the worst time possible as well. Like super unlucky run. I really like Westbrook on that team. I really
yeah.
like Westbrook. He suits them so well. We've seen it work with PG before. Um,
Mm,
and Kawhi's the type of guy where he can just like pretty much he can plot him anywhere. Um, MVP, Kawhi. I was actually tossing up between him and Paul George. I actually think Paul George has a bigger impact on the game, which is
mm,
the past 2 years probably, but that's only because Kawhi's been out for most of it. Impact player Russell Westbrook. Why
yeah.
did I say that? Why I was like calling him Russell.
You're an announcer.
Russell.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he's gonna have a big year. I really think he's gonna get back to not MVP form, not triple doubles, but just being super solid. On the brink of being a star. He's a star, but on the brink of superstardom again. I really think he's gonna have a comeback season. Lakers are gonna regret. Actually, no, I don't think the Lakers will regret. The haters will regret everything they've said. I'm expecting big things from Russ this year. Rising star, again, Clippers kind of an older team, don't have that much young capital. I'm going Kenny Martin Jr. I mean, they finally have like a really solid lob threat. He can stretch the floor. Not going to be like a game changer, but I think he'll actually help the Clippers. Like having that lob threat,
Mm,
having a four that can stretch the floor, ramen accidentally. Kind of he can play that small ball five if Zubac. Never know how to say his name.
Dubai.
Um, he can kind of come on as the small ball five. Give the bigs a rest. And yeah, just genuine lob threat. I think he's not going to have a statistically great season, but I think he'll have a positive impact.
Mm, yeah. I've been so excited about the Clippers the past couple of years, and it just continually just gets my excitement gets destroyed. Obviously, things that they can't control, but they have such a great roster. I love, like I'm just running through their bench. Like they got Terrence Mann off the bench, Norman Powell, Kenyon Martin Jr., Marcus Morris Sr., who they shut down. Uh,
Yeah.
at the end of last year, Mason Plumlee, Bones Highland, like Robert Covington as well. They have a great bench with full of amazing role players to complement two of the best forwards in the league, or two top 5 forwards in the league. A really solid center, Zubac.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Zubac. It sounds good. Shout out Nicholas Batum because he's 34 and still here.
Yeah, he's
playing
balling.
really, really good. And then you got Russell Westbrook, one of the most intense players in the league. Obviously, he's risky to have on your roster, but they've got him for cheap. He obviously wants to be here. He's got this vision. Obviously, he's like, okay, I'm on the other LA team now. I'm trying to ball the fuck out. And he played really great with them last year. He's that guy who has that heart where sometimes Paul George may not show up. Russ is going to be doing everything he possibly can.
Yeah.
Same thing as Kawhi. Sometimes Kawhi might not have that energy or might play a bit too like passive, but like no, Russ has got that energy.
Yeah.
My hopes for them this year, before I get into my things, is they put together some sort of trade using those role players that they are underutilizing, because they've had all these role players, an incredible like variety over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think that's been their issue, getting
James
the most
Harden.
out of them. James Harden is
They need to do it. I don't care what you have to give up. Do it. You've seen it work. You've seen it work before. You've seen Russ and James Harden work before.
Yeah. And what Russ is happy to play off the bench if need be, if that's what they're looking to do.
100%.
Yeah, a James Harden trade but then James Harden's like, I don't want to go to the Clippers, but like this is literally where you could win. My brother.
The best chance, I reckon.
But yeah, I would like for them to put together a trade using these role players because they're not getting the most out of them. Like Robert Covington should be playing more minutes. Bones Highland should be playing more minutes. Played pretty solid in Denver. Norman Powell gets great minutes off the bench. I would like to see him get more. Terrence Mann is solid. I'd like to see him get more minutes. Marcus Morris Sr., although Clippers fans don't really like him and he has been regressing, he's still a player of value out there. So, yeah, Kawhi, my MVP, impact player, Paul George, or Russell Westbrook. Interchangeable, I think, just because PG, we got to give him his credit, has come back from the ACL injury and consistently been a star now, like incredible. Rising star, Kenyon Martin Jr. I'm going to say record is like 50, even 55. I genuinely think if they are healthy, then this is more than attainable, a 50 to 55 win season. Genuinely, like you're going up against them in the last 5 minutes. You got guys who are like clutch performers. You got defenders on this team. You got killers. I don't see them losing many, close games in the end. And I just see them being just incredibly solid throughout the year. But then again, you need to get the most out of your players. And I think a trade has to be on the books. Not including PG or Kawhi, but including some role players. Get someone really solid.
Yeah. I agree. I've gone 46. I feel like that's the right mark. I'm basing it off availability. I still don't think Kawhi's going to get a full season. I don't think PG is going to have a full season either. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope they have a massive season because they need to start caring about the regular season and not just the playoffs. They had to scrape. They just got in this year, got in the year before. They need to care more about the regular season. But high hopes for the Clippers. I'm actually really excited for this whole division. Last team, how are we going for time? What are we at? Half an hour, I think. So we might not break that.
In like 5 minutes.
We might not break the record.
Nah, let's just smash it out. We got it.
Okay, Lakers. This is besides the Cavs, this is my second favorite team. I'm a LeBron stan, as a lot of people know. My precious, glorious king. But he's not my MVP. My MVP is AD. This guy needs to turn up this year. He needs to lead this team. LeBron's not going to be here forever. This is your team now. He was brought to LA because They wanted him to lead the unit. They wanted him to lead the franchise. This is the year to do it. If he has one healthy season, we literally can see what he can do. We can see what he can do. He needs to build consistency. One night he'll drop 40, the next night he'll have 11 and like 5 missed free throws. The dude needs to build consistency, stay healthy. This guy can literally average 28 and 13, 3 blocks and a steal and win MVP. Him winning MVP this year is not out of the conversation, and it's not as crazy as some people think. The dude can seriously turn it up, and I'm probably overhyping because I just want him to go fucking 8 balls on this. Like, he needs to have a good year. He needs to have a good year, and I think I speak for everybody when I say that.
Yeah.
LeBron, impact player when he's on the floor. I mean, come on. Rising star, Austin Reeves. I've gone the big 3 here. AR-15. That dude is going to have a killer year again. He's got confidence now. Everyone believes in him. Cult hero, got his bag. Yeah, the dude. See, look at me. I'm so hyped for the
Bro,
Lakers this
yeah,
year.
you're on it. I love it. Keep
Bro,
going.
seriously, they need like Austin Reeves gonna have a big year. If he doesn't, he needs to average like 18, something like that. He had 14 and a half last year. I really think he can have a bigger year. I do like bringing D'Lo back. I don't think he's not as bad as people think he is. He didn't have a great playoffs, but I think also having Gabe Vincent there, who's on the same level, maybe a bit less, gives him that push to be able to play better. I love the Torian Prince signing as well. I feel like that brings a lot of grit. Brought back Rui as well. Look, like I've said, we said this in the free agency chat a month ago. They haven't made drastic changes. They've kept the core. They've bought in pieces that can help the team. Anyways, I'm going to stop splurging. I'm going to stop splurging. You can go now. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm very
You
passionate.
are on that. I love that.
Passionate, bro.
Sorry, did you say Gabe Vincent's on the same level or just under than him?
No, yeah, like they're not on the same. They're not on the same level. I think. No, I'd say D'Lo's like a B minus, and Gabe Vincent's like a C.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
Actually,
it's
I like
that.
that.
I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's
Yeah.
that crazy to say that
Yeah, that's true.
based on playoff performances.
Playoff, yeah. So playoff 100%, they'd be the same. Well, Gabe Vincent's even better. I got Bron MVP. I still think point forward he's going to run the show, and I think he'll be much happier now. He's got a similar team around him. He's got shooters. I think he'll be very happy and giving them another opportunity for that team chemistry to grow. Not off the books for that AD MVP though. I think I put him as my impact player, as a lob threat, as a low post, like operator in the mid range from 3. Defensively, he's a gun. Yeah, impact player. Austin Reeves, rising star. I really want him to have a great year. I think people like hyped it heaps, but he genuinely is a great like guard for them and a great project for them moving forward. And I was worried for Lakers in the offseason, but they got their core together and they were pretty cheap. And
they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything drastic that was going to affect anything.
No,
I really like the Cam Reddish. But I don't know if he'll play that often. I really don't. But yeah, I hope he gets minutes. But I don't know.
Yeah, this is it's super tough. Like they're going to be running a 9-man rotation.
Yeah, you would think so.
And he's not going to. He'd be the one they wouldn't really consider. In that, Rui's definitely solidified himself as like a need to go to player off the bench.
Yeah.
But then again, like he might take the spot of Torian Prince.
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So you off the bench. You probably got what Rui at 6-man, then Gabe Vincent, Torian Prince, Jackson Hayes. I don't think he'll probably just fill in when AD needs to rest.
Yeah,
and then probably Max Christie would probably get minutes as well. They've got such a deep roster. They got Jared Huchefino as well in the draft. Like they've got so many different ways they can experiment. So I think that's probably one of the more exciting things, but definitely they've kept the core looking really
Yeah.
good. Do you want to hear my wins? Like I don't know what you would have gone. I originally had 48, but I've changed it to higher because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I've gone 52 now.
yeah,
52.
same.
Yeah, okay. They really can. They can push
Yeah.
to that 50. It's just about consistency. AD needs to be healthy, and put up consistent numbers. Even if that's just averaging 20 a night, if he does it consistently, that's all that matters.
Mm,
When it comes to playoff time, he'll turn up if he's consistent throughout the season. And yeah, I think AR is going to have a big jump. I think LeBron's just going to do his thing.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think LeBron's got more he can rely on others more now because he's got that scoring around him. He can just be himself and not have to shoot 25% from three in a playoff series, and
Mm.
less than that,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
that's like really good priority that they set to make sure that he had scorers around him and he has some help. Um, but that's where AD needs to step up. Austin Reeves needs to have a big year. D'Lo needs to have a better year. But I'm confident, man. They've got scoring all around the floor. They got defense.
Yeah.
They've improved on that front, and they've got projects with Austin Reeves and Cam Reddish. Hopefully, when he can get the minutes, hopefully he knows that if he stays there, that they'll try to make him a bit of a priority.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, I don't know how long that
Man,
was, but we did pretty well.
that's solid. That's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah, honestly, this series is always fun to do. It's like
Mm.
easily my favorite. The off season continues though. Episode 10 next week. Probably cover award predictions. Um, yeah, man, I love doing this. Thank you for the
That's it, man.
support. I don't know if you guys watch the end of the videos, but there'll probably be something at the end here. Um, but yeah, sit back, relax. Thanks for watching, everyone. Much appreciated. 2023-24 season coming up. Loading. Schedule coming out soon. That's another idea. We could talk about big games throughout the season. I'm going to America over Christmas, so I'm hoping there's some good games then. But
Oh yeah, you can do some vlogging
yes, sir.
for the
Yeah, vlog
podcast.
for the channel, bro.
Yeah,
Vlog for the channel.
thanks, bro.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, listening, wherever you get your podcasts, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.
I accept the challenge from Brandon Williams, Kevin Durant, Kevin Hart, and DJ Steph Fast, and I nominate LeBron Jr., Bryce Maximus, and President Obama, LLS Challenge.